Namaste, Pranam, Gita Dhyana. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitam Vritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashaadhyayinim Ambatva Manusandadhami Bhagavad Gite Bhavadveshinim. Oh Bhagavad Gita, with which Lord Narayana himself gave enlightenment to Partha. The ancient sage Vyasa included it in the Mahabharata. O Goddess, showerer of the nectar-like knowledge of non-dualism contained in your 18 chapters. O my affectionate mother, the destroyer of rebirth, I meditate upon thee. Krishna Vandana. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Son of Vasudeva, the slayer of Kansa and Chanur, extreme delight for Mother Devaki, O Lord Krishna, the supreme teacher of the universe, my salutations to you. So our reading of the Kshetradnya Vibhag Yoga, the 13th Adhyaya of Srimad Bhagavad Gita continues, and Krishna has told us recently, just in our last reading, Krishna has told us about the constituents of Kshetra. What are the different 24 constituents of the Kshetra that Krishna has described us? The 5 cosmic elements, Pancha Mahabhutanya, Ahankaraha, Buddhi, Avyaktam, Evacha. The 5 cosmic principles, 5 cosmic elements. All these bodies, they are comprising basically of these 5 cosmic principles, the 4 physically perceptible constituents, the earth, the water, the fire, the air, and the 5th unperceivable for that matter, unperceptible for that matter, the space. So comprising of these 4 physical and perceptible cosmic elements and the 5th unperceptible cosmic element, the space. All these bodies, right from the most intelligent human being till the insignificant inanimate matter, we are all comprised, we are all composed of the same 5 cosmic elements. Then we have Ahankara, Mahabhutani, Ahankaraha, that ego. Each one of us has ego. That ego is also very much a part and parcel, because this ego makes us realize that I and mine, me and mine. That identity, that distinction comes because of the ego. So the ego is also very much the part and parcel of this Kshetra. Then Buddhi, the intellect. It is the intellect which tells us we are doing good, we are doing bad. That is the thing, that is the tattva of it. It is the principle of determination. I am. That intellect is also an inherent constituent of the Kshetra, and also the Avyakta, the unmanifest portion of this body is also there, very much a constituent. If the moment this Avyakta leaves the body has no utility for that matter. The body is just of no use. So that Avyakta, till that Avyakta is there in these 5 cosmic elements, along with the Buddhi, along with the Ahankara, there is something this body can do. Then attached to all these, then there are Indriyani Dashaikam cha, the 10 sense organs, the 5 organs of perception, the 5 organs of action. And for these 5 sense organs, the Pancha indriya gocharaha. The 5 sense objects. Each indriya, each sense organ has got a sense object where that sense organ desires to meet that sense object to seek enjoyment. In reality, whether it is enjoyment or not, that is a different matter. But each sense organ, after seeing that sense object, tends to develop this desire of enjoyment. So, Krishna has laid down here these 24 constituents. And in fact, the Sankhya school of philosophy also recognizes this fact that these are the 24 tattvas. The 24 tattvas which have created this creation, which have created this Prakriti. This entire Prakriti is comprised of 24 tattvas. The 5 cosmic principles, the ahankara, the buddhi, the unmanifest element, and the sense organs, the jnanendriyas, the karmendriyas, and the sense objects and the mind. So all these comprise together to number 24 as the primal tattvas of this creation. Now this is what Sri Krishna also told us in this 5th shloka, that Mahabhutanya hankaro buddhiravyaktamevacha indriyani dashaikam cha pancha chendriya gocharaha. Now Sri Krishna is going to tell us in this 6th shloka what are the different modifications. Now each and every one of us is comprised of these basic constituents that Sri Krishna has referred to in the 5th shloka. Now how we differ from each other, what modifications we see in these different kshetras that make us one different from another, one distinct from another. Now what are these modifications? What are these vikaras? That Sri Krishna had told us that yat vikari yataśchatat. What are those different modifications of this self? How this self is expressed in different modifications. That he is going to tell us. Icchā dveṣaḥ sukhaṃ duḥkhaṃ saṅghātaścetanā dhṛtiḥ etatkṣetraṃ samāsena savikāramudāhṛtam. These are all the modifications which are take place in these kshetras. Now what are those modifications? Icchā. Now these are all the elements, these are all the causes of modifications which give rise to those effects of modifications. Icchā, desire. Because of the desire, we tend to go to the sense objects. That icchā. Then dveṣaḥ, the hatred, the repulsion, the aversion of something. Whether it is aversion of people, whether it is aversion of things, whether it is aversion of any other objects. So these are all these things, the desire, the aversion, icchā, dveṣaḥ, sukhaṃ duḥkhaṃ. The pleasure and pain. Pleasure is always the intent, but in return we get dukkha, pain. That modifies this, that creates modification in this body, isn't it? The moment we get pleasure, we are happy. The moment we get dukkha, we are gone case. So, icchā, dveṣaḥ, sukhaṃ, duḥkhaṃ, saṅghātaścetanā dhṛtiḥ. Saṅghāta, these are all the aggregate. Saṅghāt, these are all the aggregate feelings, the aggregate reactions. And then saṅghāta, cetana. Cetana is also another faculty of ours, like the buddhi and the aham that Sri Krishna has mentioned in the 5th shloka. Cetana is the intelligence or that power, that capacity to reveal and interpret. It is not just taking in things. Chetana makes us think. Chetana makes us understand a thing in its entirety. Chetana is kind of a conscience. It is our primary consciousness. It is inherent consciousness which makes us think and reveal the things. So Krishna says that icchā, dveṣaḥ, sukhaṃ, duḥkhaṃ, saṅghātaścetanā, dhṛtiḥ. Dhṛtiḥ is firmness. Firmness is that resolve to keep this body intact. Our entire struggle is to keep the body intact in spite of constant aging, constant deterioration, constant decay. All our efforts are to keep this kshetra firm, to keep this kshetra dhṛtiḥ. All our efforts are towards that. Our progress in the medical sciences, our progress in different kind of exercise techniques to keep the body fit. That is dhṛtiḥ. Now these are all the modifications that Sri Krishna tells that are associated with this kshetra, which bring out all these changes. The icchā, dveṣaḥ, the desire, the hatred or aversion, the pleasure, the pain, and the aggregate effect of all these forces. The assemblage of various body parts that all our body parts, they coordinate, the sync, what we call these days. We sync our contact details with other apps on our mobile phones. So that is the saṅghāt. Our entire body, our entire faculties, they are all synced together. That is also a way of creating modification in this kshetra, in this body. So saṅghāt, then chetana, our consciousness, and dhṛtiḥ, our firmness to keep this body intact. All our efforts. So Sri Krishna says, etatkṣetraṃ samāsena savikāramudāhṛtam. Thus, I have explained to you, I have described to you briefly everything about the kshetra with its modifications. So first Krishna told us about the constituents of the kshetra in the 5th shlok, and in the 6th shlok he tells us about all those modifications which are associated with this kshetra, and finally Krishna says that thus I have described to you about this kshetra in brief. The samāsena, I have explained to you, I have udāhṛtam, I have described. So this is how this 5th and 6th shloka Sri Krishna, just in brief, has told about the constituents of our bodies and how different reactions, different causes make us react in certain different ways, with desires, with hatred and aversion, with pleasure, with pain, and then as a result of the aggregate of this, all our functions, all our bodily functions, how we maintain the body, how we maintain the consciousness, how we maintain our desire to keep this body fit, dhṛtiḥ. So this is Sri Krishna's, in brief description about the kshetra as such. He has not yet told us about Kshetradnya. He is still talking about the kshetra. Now on this kshetra, on these same qualities that Sri Krishna had told about the kshetra, on the nature of the kshetra, constituents of the kshetra, and the modifications of the kshetra as a result of different kind of associations of the sense objects, sense organs with the sense objects. What all these modifications take place in aggregate. Sri Ramakrishna has beautifully put it that why do the devotees look after this body so carefully when it is actually a combination of things perishable? We all try to maintain our bodies, isn't it? We all take care of bodies so carefully. One sneeze and we start wondering, oh, whether it is a COVID. Little fever and we start wondering whether it is going to be a flu, influenza. And we start taking all the due precautions. We start taking kadhas and we start taking steam. We start taking even the precautionary doses of medications. So Sri Ramakrishna says, why do devotees look after this body so carefully? In fact, this body is the combination of things perishable. All the Pancha Mahabhutas, they are all perishable, isn't it? Barring space, barring Akasha. All the four other principles of this Pancha Mahabhutas, the earth, air, water, fire, they are all perishable. They come and go. Similarly, our body is there to perish, but still, we take so much care. Even the faculties are perishable. Our ahankara, our buddhi is perishable, isn't it? But still, we take so much care of our body. Sri Ramakrishna says, why do devotees take care of bodies? Although they are comprised of things perishable. Nobody pays heed to an empty package. Literally, the moment the avyakta element goes out from this body, nobody gives a damn to the body. We start hurrying to get rid of that body without that element of life force in it. The moment a package is empty, it is gone. It is of no use. We just throw it to the dustbin. Any packages, we throw it to the dustbin. All the physical bodies, we throw them to the fire. But people preserve carefully a paper box containing precious gems and jewels, right? A small paper box, it might have a beautiful diamond ring, a pearl, and we will take care of that ordinary cardboard box to such an extent because it has that something inside. In that manner, the devotee takes care of body due to its being the temple of the Lord. That avyakta which is dwelling inside has to be comfortable. It should not have any pain. It should not have any discomfort. And therefore, if I have fever, I will take medicine. I will see to it that my body is fit. I will see to it that I am functioning properly. Although I am deteriorating every moment, this body is decaying every moment. What it was at the time of birth, it is not same after this 60 plus of years. One by one, things are going out. Now the BP goes up. Now the BP goes up. I take the BP medication and bring the BP down. So we try to maintain that health. We try to maintain the wellness of this body to keep that fellow who is staying there inside happy, to make the stay of that fellow inside longer. For that we are all struggling. All these advances in the medical field, only for that reason, to make that fellow who is staying inside, let him stay some more time in it. In that manner, the devotees take care of the body due to its being the temple of the Lord. They cannot afford to neglect it. All human bodies are the treasure chests containing the Ishvara. And therefore, what Sri Krishna has mentioned here in that shloka as the dhṛtiḥ, that firmness, that determination to keep this kshetra intact. That is the reason why we are all heading towards it. We are all focused on our health, well-being, wellness. We all talk of the work-life balance just to keep our things in perfect rhythm, in perfect peace, in perfect fitness. Whether we are able to do it or not, that is a different matter, of course. But all our efforts are to keep this body fit so that it is the temple, it is the sheath. It is the sheath of the Lord. That avyakta which is there inside, it is protected by This is our misconception that the body is protecting it. That fellow inside loves to stay there till the time this body is healthy and hearty. So we are all making our efforts to maintain the individual kshetras. But the problem is our all efforts are just to maintain our individual kshetras. We are not bothered about the kshetras of others, of other kshetras, although essentially all the kshetras are same. All the kshetras are composed of the same 24 tattvas, of the 5 cosmic principles, cosmic elements, of the same ego, of the same ahankara, of the same buddhi, of the same avyakta, and then the 10 indriyas, and then the 5 sense objects, indriya gocharaha. So that is the biggest lesson that Sri Krishna has given to us in this 5th and 6th shloka of the Kshetra, Kshetradnya Vibhag Yoga. Let us try to understand the reality behind this Kshetra that Krishna has told us, and the modifications which are constantly going on inside this Kshetra. The desire, the hatred, the pleasure, the pain, the accumulative, the aggregate, the saṅghāta effect of all these changes, of all these modifications, and the chetana and the dhṛtiḥ, all our efforts to maintain this body, all efforts to keep it firm and intact. So let us learn something from what Sri Krishna has told us. And he has told us that I have told you in brief, I have described in brief about this kshetra, the constituents, the modification, the kshetra and the vikaras. So that was our wonderful learning today, Sri Krishna's wonderful teaching, and hopefully our wonderful learning of the kshetra, constituents and the modifications. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Jai Sri Ramakrishna. Jai Thakur. Jai Ma. Jai Swami.